I am not good at bedwars. Because of this, I do not play it that often, except for 4v4. Now, when I say 4v4, I mean 2 teams of 4, not 4v4v4v4, which is 4 teams of 4. Wow, Hypixel has so many different bedwars categories. What I like about 4v4 bedwars is how it requires teamwork to win, and there's only one place you need to worry about enemies coming from: the front. Now, I had an idea for a strategy that could potentially be good, for 4v4 at least. Since people will only be expecting the enemy team to attack from the front, they won't look anywhere else, including up. The game starts, I get shears, an axe, a pickaxe, just over 2 stacks of blocks, and a water bucket. Now all I have to do is build up until I get to the height limit, bridge until I get to their base, and oh no, it turns out bedwars players actually do look up. This video was originally supposed to show how many games I would have to play until I got 3 wins where I was the only one who broke the enemy's bed using the aforementioned strategy. Now, I thought this strategy would work well and that it wouldn't take that long. Instead, it took me over 2.5 hours to succeed once. At this point, I decided that once was enough. I think it's pretty clear that this strategy isn't good. I was a bit confused as to why it didn't work that well, mostly because a few years ago I used it a lot, and I remember it working well then. Maybe bedwars players have gone better, or maybe I've gone worse. Anyways, let's get into why my strategy turned out to be terrible. First of all, it turns out that getting all the materials needed, building up to the height limit, and then bridging in a straight line to the enemy's bed takes a long time. There were so many games where someone else on my team would rush and break the enemy's bed before I even got halfway across the map. Now, I could speed bridge to go faster, but I'm not nearly as good at speed bridging as I used to be. Secondly, there were a surprisingly large amount of games where no one decided to protect our bed and we were the ones that got rushed on. I would have protected when no one else was, but that's not part of the challenge. Another problem was for the first half or so of the games I played, I placed the water at the top of the bridge instead of clutching. This caused 2 issues. First, the enemy team would be alerted that I was there because there would suddenly be a wall of water in front of them. And second, they could then use that water to climb up and use my bridge against us. This is why after a while I switched to water bucket clutching. But even then, the enemy team would sometimes use my bridge against us by building a stairway up to it. Thirdly, there were a bunch of games where our team did win, but it was because someone else broke the enemy's bed or the time limit was reached. So they don't count. Finally, there was 1 or 2 times where I actually did manage to break the enemy's bed, but we still lost. That was painful. Also, my guess about the enemy team not being able to notice my giant bridge in the sky was entirely incorrect. I now hate fireballs. But anyways, after wasting over 2 hours of my life, I finally managed to win a game using this strategy, which I do not plan on ever using again.
This might finally be my chance. Wait. Yes! 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 And a final kill too. Please tell me that we're not gonna win this, right? Right. I don't want it to be like last time. Or even though I got their bed, we still failed. Okay, there's only 1 of them left. Yes! Yes! Finally! I've done it. My stupid strategy finally worked. This was pretty much the best way to do this because there's this tree thing here, which means I don't have to place a bunch of blocks there and I can save a lot of time, which I just get down there and I just go for it, which is crazy because there's like 3 people here and somehow, like, yeah, that person noticed, but they noticed too late. So yeah, only out of those, yeah, there was that person there. So there were like 4 people, but then somehow none of them noticed. I played one game of normal Bed Wars immediately after doing this, and look what happened. They stole my idea. Like, look at